Masks and roles. How many of us are us, and how many are what society demands? You wake up in the morning, put on your clothes, and a mask. Sometimes of confidence, sometimes of benevolence, sometimes indifference. It's not makeup. It's not a lie. It's a defense. From the world, from pain, from expectations. But over time, you forget where the mask ends and you begin. You act the way you should. You speak the way you should. You work, you love, you have friendships. It's like a script. But one day in the silence comes a strange question. Who am I without all this? And that's when the shell starts to crack. Because it's not empty inside. There's someone alive inside. Real. Only deeply hidden under layers of other people's expectations. Part 2. The beginning of bifurcation. You grow up, and the world teaches you who to be. Good boy, smart girl, real man, perfect wife. You realize, to be accepted, you have to conform. And to fit in, you have to give up something of yourself. So you give it up. Not all at once, one piece at a time. You don't show anger, you hide the fear. You learn to smile when it hurts. That's how the first role is born, comfortable, understandable, right. And the more you play it, the less space there is for the real you. But somewhere inside, underneath the masks, there's tension. It's like you're wearing tight clothes that don't let you breathe. You don't fully realize it yet, but the inner conflict has already begun. Part 3. Theater of Roles. From childhood, we are taught who to be: a good son, an obedient daughter, an exemplary student, a polite passerby. Every year, a new role. We try them on like masks and often forget what's underneath. Who am I when no one is looking? When there's no need to conform, no need to play? We get so used to our roles that we begin to identify with them. But it's all an outer layer. The real you is in the silence, in the moments when no one else is around, when you don't have to be normal. Being yourself is scary. It means giving up your masks, but only then can you find out who you really are. Part 4. Society as a stage. From an early age, we are offered roles. Be good, be strong, be like everyone else. We learn to fit in, at school, in the family, at work. The role becomes an armor. It's comfortable. You're accepted in it. But the longer you play it, the harder it is to take off the mask. You don't remember what your real voice sounds like anymore. Society demands that you conform. And you conform because you want to be part of something. And the deeper you get into the role, the scarier it is to be yourself. Because to be yourself is to be vulnerable. So you can be disliked, you can be rejected. But there's a danger in this game. One day, you'll forget it was a game. And you will become what they wanted you to be, not who you are. Part 5. When a role becomes a prison. At first, the mask seems like a defense. It helps you be comfortable, successful, accepted. But over time you realize it's fused to your skin. You can no longer distinguish where the image ends and you begin. You smile when you don't want to. You talk to please. You say yes so you don't lose approval. And suddenly, you catch yourself thinking, who am I without all this? Without this mask? Sometimes you feel an inner protest. Something inside rebels. But you silence it with the voice of reason. It's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. Because it's scary to admit that you're tired of pretending. Because then you'd have to change everything. And change is a risk. It also means loneliness. Part 6. The art of seeing yourself. We too often look at ourselves through other people's eyes, through looks, expectations, comparisons. We look for validation of ourself externally, in words, evaluations, recognition. But all of these are reflections, not the essence. The real knowledge of self comes in silence. the moment when you stop being someone for others, and for the first time become someone for yourself. It's not a comfortable process. It requires honesty, and sometimes it requires pain. But without it, you can't realize who you are. Seeing yourself without a mask is scary, but it's the only way to make a real change and become not who they want you to be, but the person who really lives inside. Part 7. The Fragility of Identity. The mask a person wears for years becomes familiar, almost native. He forgets where the lie ends and he begins. But sometimes all it takes is one look, one event, for this illusion to crack. The crack doesn't necessarily shatter into dust. More often, it just grows, imperceptibly. The slight discomfort of a role that can no longer be played. A slight sense of rejection of one's own reflection. And now the world seems alien, and the man himself is just a shadow of what he once was. Part 8. The Mask That Can't Be Removed. Over time, you forget what your real voice sounded like. The mask becomes skin, and even when you're alone, you're still acting, automatically, without pause, without feeling. But there comes a moment when the silence pierces, suddenly. It's as if someone ripped the curtain and for the first time you see the stage without scenery. Empty. No audience. No meaning. You stand in this nothingness and suddenly realize, if you don't drop the role now, there will be no one left who could remember who you were. That's the point of choice. Painful. Final. To be. Or to remain a shadow of your reflection forever.